Okay, now for the excitement of the day, of the month. Yes. So, join me in welcoming the irreverent Reverend Marky Mark, as we call him.
Good morning. I guess I better do this. Wow. Interesting. I love the observations of being back in Hawaii. Being back in Hawaii, I was just sitting next to Kathy and I looked out on the road and there's a surfer on a surfboard with a chicken. I'm like, rolling down Paradise Park Drive. I'm like, this is the most interesting place I've ever been. If you can think it, it's there. Even if you don't think it's there. I think, what was that thought that I created that? Anyway, it's always fun to me. I think we're far too serious and significant to be perfectly honest. And it all comes from believing distractions. So today's lesson in the Course in Miracles really helped me because it said the Creator is always creating gentleness everywhere we are. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I'm just saying, in other words, wherever you go, there is gentleness. Or you can be distracted beyond belief and think you're in traffic and looking at people and trying to figure out why they're going 4 miles an hour in a 50-mile-an-hour zone. But luckily, I came to the island and decided, I had rented a car and decided I was going to walk because I'm in Hilo. And so I don't know Hilo. Here I've lived here 32 years, never really. I've always been in one of those metal boxes with all the wheels. So you don't really see Hilo. You just see it as you go by. And so I have walked all over Hilo, and it's absolutely a beautiful place. If you haven't done that, just do it. Get out of your car. Another boy. It's amazing. It's always a Course in Miracles story, isn't it? It's a girl falling out. It's like, we're going to a concept here, and then there's this guy with a muffler that just, you can't hear it. And we're just like, we pause, and we wait. Like, we'll wait till that's done, that little distraction. Well, my life has been on fast forward since I lost the farm in the lava. Thank you, Pele, for that. Next week, I say thank you because I've gotten through it. And what is the truth is next week, I'm going to be offering a play shop here, which is to release any of the old feelings you have of loss or any things like that, PTSD they call it now. There were never any designations when I was a therapist. They just said you were sick and come see somebody. But now it's like TDS and ESD and I don't know what they all are. Still never kept up with it. But the truth is that my intention is that we go back to the peace of mind that is our goal. Because some of the losses were pretty traumatic. For me, it was my whole farm of 32 years and everything that was in my house, thinking that I was so arrogant that Pele wouldn't touch me. It's an interesting thought. So the truth is that come here being willing to release and let go of any of the past stuff that you've had that's just been brewing in you or you're holding on to. We only have the moment anyway. So bring it with you. Do yourself a favor. You're going to be lying down on the floor, so bring a mattress or something. Because it's kind of hard. So it's about 45 minutes of breathing in a certain way so that the spirit can release some of the old emotional things in the emotional body. Do come. The suggested donation is $10, and it's going to the Center for the Building Fund, obviously, because it's wonderful. And I guess what I'll talk to you today about is particularly spiritual practices. It's very essential today that with the world being in it's kind of like distracted everywhere. It's very, very essential that we practice our spiritual practices in the morning. I start out with about 5 different yoga poses to stretch because I'm getting over, 25. If I'm looking there and go, that's how I feel. And I look in the mirror and go, who's that? I'm like, when did that happen? I know, some of you have that same feeling. You're like, what? When did that happen? Anyway, the truth is that the spiritual practices, whatever your spiritual practice is, which may mean just meditating for 5 minutes, you don't get any gold stars from God for meditating for an hour. If you can get to that point of no thought and be in that thought, then you can move to the next thought, which is Holy Spirit or higher self. Help! I need some help. I'm interpreting everything and judging everything, and I need to just stay in the center. And I have to say, living in Hawaii for 30 years has given me a strong center, because now I'm on the mainland most of the time. And whoa, it's a whole different energy feel, totally. So staying on center is most essential for us in these times. I want to remind you, however, people are saying, well, the world's going and it's going this and all that stuff. I want you to hear this. My parents said that, and their parents said that. So don't take it so seriously. They were like, it's gonna die and everything. And my father told me that, and I was like, okay, well, it looks like it just keeps rolling along. So I just say, take yourself lightly, enjoy life, have fun, do something you really love to do. Whatever it is, sing a song. I don't know what it is. Do crossword puzzles. My mother loved those. Well, a month ago, I was in the Silomar, which was called SOAR. And it was really it was a soaring experience of like minds all coming together from all over the country to speak about the principles of science of mind. And our beloved Angelica, the founder minister, spoke on Merrill Hall. She was over the moon that she actually did this. And she was just amazingly wonderful. And Connie was there too. We just watched her, and it was so wonderful to see her finally go, I can't believe I'm up here. We were like, we can't either. Wow, this is going to be fun. And she said that she had been classified by Kennedy Schultz, one of our ministers, as the Mother Earth hippie from Hawaii. And of course, she had her Birkenstocks on. We were all laughing like, yeah, well, you are, honey, and it's okay. So she uses the principles of science of mind to manifest things. And this teaching is about helping you have things that you desire in your life. Now, you may want to treat for clarity first, because otherwise you'll get a whole lot of stuff that you don't want to do with. I think also the main theme is taking care of the planet, about what the national organization is doing. And what I want you to know is it starts with each of us individually doing something. Like this morning, I walked the dogs, and there was a McDonald's wrapper on the street, and I thought, that doesn't belong there. I guess I'll just put it in the bag. So each of us needs to take the initiative to do that in our own local neighborhoods, unless you feel like Habitat for Humanity is your job, or Mankind Project, or whatever. But listen for the advice of that to what to do inside yourself. This is the biggest thing, is that listening inside is the most essential thing that you can do, because it is the only voice that you should be listening to. And everybody else, and everybody else is trying for your attention. You know, they're all like, look at me over here, and over here, and over here, and over here. What did Trump say? Who cares? You know, it's like, and before him there was Bill W. I mean, so the truth of it is, it's just distractions. Are you wanting to be distracted? Or are you focusing on what you desire for your life? Yeah, a certain amount of distraction we're all going to go into, because that's just the human condition. But Ernest Holmes said something that I thought was really good. And of course, that's why I love his teaching. He said, let's see, find me one person who is for something and against nothing, who is redeemed enough not to condemn others out of the burden of his soul. And I will find another Savior, another Christ, another exalted human being. So what he's saying is, we focus so much of our energy all day long on what we don't want, what we don't like. And if you want to see that personified really well, look at the debates of the Democratic Party. I kept saying, what are we looking for here? We're always talking about what this other person is doing. And that's not important. I want to know what you're going to present for us as a human consciousness. And that was, so they finally got that. Poor Mary Ann got herself drowned out of there because she was really just coming from, we need to pray. And Nathan Macy said, oh no, we don't need to pray. I thought, boy, we really need to pray. And he also said that this is very good. He said, find me one person who no longer has any fear of the universe or of God or of man or of anything. And you will have brought to me someone in whose presence we may sit, and all fear shall vanish as clouds before the sunlight. Very true. You notice people always want agreement. So they'll say, what do you think about this? This is what I think about that. What do you think? They want you to agree with them. I say, take back your power. If you don't agree with them, say, nope, don't agree with them. Now, the easiest thing to do is go, that's interesting. Because if you take back your power and say, no, then you've got a fight going on. So for me, it's always an interesting thing to go, well, that's interesting. I'll think about what your viewpoint is, and maybe that's what I'll put that in that opinions box. That's what I usually have. Also, Ernest Holmes said something that I really like too. He said, find me one person who can get his own littleness out of the way, and he shall reveal to me the immeasurable magnitude of the universe in which we live. And really, these are pearls from his sermon by the sea at Asilomar. And it was reminded to me that was his last talk. And he just finally said, this is what you need to know. That there is a law and there's a power that you use, and you can use that by simply asking for its advice or guidance inside. Or you can follow what the media is telling you, which may have a little slant. I don't know if you might notice that, but I do. And it's always to keep us sort of distracted. Also, an interesting thing, I spoke 3 weeks ago, I spoke at Unitarian Universalist. That was an interesting experience because their premises are very similar to ours. They just don't like the triune nature of spirit. I think it's a wonderful spirit, the way to describe it. I don't know any other way, I don't know how they do it. But it was interesting because I was speaking about the love of the Course in Miracles and how you can understand it, and you can come from strength or you can come from weakness. And strength is just asking inside and following the guidance that is given you. And weakness comes from everybody else's opinion and thoughts about everything. So it was interesting. That was very well received, and a lot of them are very sort of militant about there's no God, and we are just here by divine appointment. We're not even divine appointment, we're just here until we're not. That's kind of black and white. I think I need a little color in there. So I enjoyed it. I think it was interesting to find that Ernest Holmes said about our philosophy, because he never really intended it to be a church, but he figured it's the only way to keep people coming back and how to come to church. So he said, it's a philosophy, and Science of Mind promotes above all things simplicity, purity, clarity of straight line thinking as the teachings of Christ Jesus. Now if you noticed, your song was perfect for that, wasn't it? It's interesting how I didn't call her, but she simplicity, and there it is. And he said, there is nothing obscure about Jesus Christ's teaching. Nothing. He said simply that it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And so why don't we take it? Well, I'll take it next week. Maybe after I get done with this, and it's in every moment you can choose. Every moment I get to choose the kingdom. There is a gentleness in Hilo that most people don't see because we're in those boxes riding around, don't even see it. I sat there on the Waikea Bridge looking at the beautiful waterfalls, and somebody was playing a flute, and I thought, this is like a movie or something. I'm hearing somebody that's probably a homeless person up the street playing flute. And over there playing, and I thought, this is so beautiful. Everybody misses it. They're all so busy with their busy little lives doing this. They got doing-itis, I call it. They're like, oh, I got to get to the post office. Then after that, I can go here, and I can do this. I'm like, whoa. I decided that I was going to have the experience of peace in my life. And so walking has given me that. Also, he said that there is only God and all of its expressions. So why don't we believe that? Why do we have to separate and judge the expressions as separate or different? You know, they're different, but it doesn't mean that they're not part of the one fabric of God. Just like we are part of the hello. I don't know what that means, but thank you very much. I love Hawaii. It's so easy. You just never know what's going to happen here. Birds flying around, people on skateboards, chickens. I love it. I really do love Hawaii, and I probably will keep coming back here. And I've even offered to give Kathy a break. She needs a break sometimes. I'm like, girl, you need a break. You've been up there forever. So if you want to go on a sabbatical and go someplace around the world, call me, and I'll come over and do that. I still find myself really being part of this center. Even though I have 3 other centers in the Portland area and the Washington area, I just feel like this is my ohana. And so I will be coming back whenever it's necessary. The Spirit orchestrates that. I'm always ready to go back. I'm like, okay, let's get on the plane. It's even an hour less time from Portland. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot better. So we are urged in the science of mind to release the imprisoned splendor within ourselves and with each other. Whatever name, whatever that is for you, it could be Christ, it can be Buddha, it can be Atman. The greatest part about science of mind is that we study all major religions, and we found that love is really what it's all about. You can call it Atman if you want to. You can call it Mohammed. You can call, and God's sitting up there going, "You guys are really funny. You want to divide me up in all these little things and judge each other. I don't understand that whole process, but okay." God is absolutely, it says in Science of Mind, God just says yes. So what are your thoughts focused on? Are they focused on being for something, or are you focused on being against something? I invite you to be for peace, not against war. It gives all that wonderful mana energy towards war. If you start thinking, well, I don't want that, I don't want this, I don't want that. As a practitioner, which is always what we are at first, before a minister, I am so familiar with people telling me what they don't want. And when I do my practitioner people, I let them rant and rave about what they don't want. And it's real easy with, the people we have around today to judge anybody. And I said, okay, I've heard enough. What do you want? Do you know, not many people really know what they want. But they know what they don't want. And I said, is it any surprise to you that you have what you don't want? You're putting 90% of your energy towards that. Why not put 90% of your energy of seeing peace on earth, that the environment's completely cleaned up? And Kathy told us last week there's 130 organizations, 130,000 organizations that are going in that direction. That's the right thing to do. That's what I like. So, in concluding, I want to read one more thing about peace from Ernest Holmes because I really like it. What he says. And this is what I just said. We know that it is not a natural order of things for people to be at war with one another. We know that the human heart is instinctively kind. That it desires peace, it desires self-expression, it desires liberty, and it desires happiness. If we would promote the idea of peace in the world, we must begin with our own individual consciousness. So when somebody's cutting you off, it's time to forgive and let go. Let go, let go. He goes on to say, the whole nation And the whole community of nations making up, as it does, a community of humanity, all are aggregates of individuals like we are. All nations are made up of groups of individual centers of thought, of will, which we call personality, for personality is really will, intelligence, and volition fused into one, making possible an individual mind and a personal expression. What he's saying is, we have the opportunity every moment, I don't know this thing, we have the opportunity to actually bring joy to the planet. So when you start to get really, into it and on it about something, see if you can laugh about it. See how quickly you can laugh about it and think, this is insane, why am I even, giving this all this energy? It's very easy to do. So I invite each of you to consider living free. Free from thinking about the consciousness of this planet at the moment, and start focusing on what do we want. It's time. It's time for us to stop with all the distractions and all the plans of our government and move towards what do we want. And then look for somebody up there on the stage that's saying it. I don't know if they'll do it, but at least you're in the right direction. I don't care. I do believe that Marianne was doing, I don't think she wanted to bring the spirituality to that whole platform. I know that she doesn't really want to win. I don't think she really wants to. She's like, oh. But I think that each of us has the personal responsibility to watch our thoughts, to give thanks when something really gives us a run for our money. It's like a belief system where somebody has a belief system. But I invite you to move from defense to that's interesting.